You folded me up, fashioned me into a paper crane, and told me it was marvelous, but it was this delicate. And there was no barrier, nothing between my fragility and your violent hands to stop you from tearing me to shreds. And even after picking up all the pieces and reassembling them, I still have hope for you, I still wish for you. I wish your hot showers never pass. With water pressure so intense that it feels like scalding pinpricks. I hope your hair finally grows to the length of your desire and then you develop alopecia. I wish you a life where you awake to see the sun rise every morning because I know you had mornings. I hope you slice your finger during every single haircut and same finger. I wish you hear say Hershey's cookies and a cream bars, and I wish you a world where they are the only thing you're allowed to eat. I wish you troves of women, beautiful women, the kind of women who act stupid because they think it makes them cute. The kind of women who voted for Trump, women who fake orgasms. I wish you sex with the wrong people for the right reason, clothes missionary style, with the lights off in complete and utter silence. I hope that one day you are able to fall in love with someone other than yourself, and love that will never be reciprocated. I wish for you a life where you can never quite escape the thought of me. I hope you see in every reflection, every face of a lover feels me. In every breeze, hear me in melodies. I hope that you become as bitter as the taste you left in my mouth. Fascism too. Well, feminism has had its three waves of revisionism. And there I'm sitting on the windowsill, smoking out of my window, watching the moon slot the sky like the dynamic snail in the misty haze of a large patch of cumulobus right up here at around 50,000 feet, thinking to myself, wow, there are two orbs of very light concentration penetrating the sky and embedding the moon in an airy aura. Never mind, I still don't know what the chemical formula for timber is, or what sort of a material is on the moon that allows it to reflect light from the other side of the Greenwich Mean Time. Last night I heard, can a rock surface reflect light? Well then, oh, never mind. But feminism has had its three waves of instigation and two subsequent waves of revisionism. So it made me think, why not a second wave of pessimism? Revisionism wave, well, as far as I'm concerned, the Italians were much better in their intentions than the Germans. Fascism too, and the sort of fascism that would allow me to be men. Drunk, foul mouths, you name it, athletic, not giving a shit, losers of sort, among the glam of whatever else is it that the man is working for. And the idea I had to think of a list. Who then? Stanley Rocker from the Steel Card named Desire, John Rennie, notably from the True Grit, Charles Heston from the Planet of Apes, Tony Curtis, Hemingway, Busky, Era Pound, Clark Gable, Gregory Peck. The list is seemingly endless, at least in the portrayal of the said characters. Take off Kevin Spacey as Lester Burnham to boot. Double for Denzel Washington as Straw Maxon, because apparently being a poet is little more than the lesson stature or the garbage man, unless of course you fit it into a cosmopolitan fixture, and certainly an appreciation for a traditional Turkish barber shop, something very much akin borrowed from America circa 1950s, and an unabashed sensibility concerning good tailoring, but then also the prophetic vagabond look from time to time, just a vague idea, but something along these lines. But then again, what's the idea? What if racial purity in the 21st century England was some sort of vague notion of an even vague dream? But I guess the notion of the individualistic purity, the purity of the individual, is related to more than who can and who won't be swayed by the alien opinion, second or third party, which includes the opinion I would subscribe to the idea of the falling zenith, grammatical cleanliness, linguistic order are literally tagged, something along these lines. After all, the 20th century is not the end of the theory. Given 20th century's communism, this wise 21st century socialism, that ideas prevail, evolve or dissolve or regress or make alternative progress, also given there already is a fascism movement elsewhere, other than in England, where it will be completely impractical. Prime tenet would also be what it already shows, non-expansionism of the culture of people, more akin to American isolationism, under FDR, I have a strange sentiment for that president protecting innocent. I'll protect the innocent even while I may proclaim my deep regard for who they are, controversially may be exclaimed, guiltless stated for my friends. This word is used at its almost broad vein. All children of the divine deserve their refuge from abuse, even while I see to proclaim my admiration for the grace stepping outside confining triumphs, leading the way for this questioning one on the shoulders of my purpose. This is how the public may respond, declaring wisdom, and I'll share when I see threads of commonality. In my heart, I know we are the same, seeking power in our own way, being true to ourselves while expressing how we live humanity, searching for a voice. I'll add mine to the chorus, admitting that I have fallen far while ascending to the highest spectrum range in pursuit my honest nature at last found. Though at first I wrongly thought I was alone when I was not, the free spirit led the way. I wish my voice could exclaim, and still I hold back my breath, protecting innocent like myself. Let's have a game of reverse phraseology. Let's have a game of reverse phraseology. Man up. Let's see what I can conjure up within this gender neutrality. How about that old English saying, buckle down, buckle up, knuckle down, I never know which is the correct phrase. Clenched your hands into a fist or lose weight or tighten them for a bumpty ride. Take the knuckles to the grid, sandpaper, how's that? Any better? No. I thought these people went to gender neutral pronouns, which loudly enough have to also be singular and plural neutral. Last time I checked, they referred to the plural description of gender neutrality to begin with, but hell, we can play the game all day, all night long. But now with a wild idea, how can you be enforced the adrenaline jungle from being stabbed into not anticipating the stabbing? I guess you have to heat up the knife so there's a warm but a sensation ascribed to the flesh. I like that word. I can almost imagine the slaughterhouse with raw book and full attire of a corpse tackling off the hooks, and then believing sent outside the Persian perfume factory attached. What if I fried this exponent of gutted pork torso? And why is in a hush meat prohibited in Quran book, the most economically constructed animal in the history of the anti-vegetarianism, anti-veganism? Rats are apparently omnivorous. My neighbor owns 4 albino rats. Saved them a testing laboratory. Same one for Cascuttle the garden, looking for the labyrinth to be examined. So I love the tease of the policing language. Man up contra buckle. You just sizzle imitating the rattlesnake with your tongue on thrilling the R. With that kind of the shit, you really end up wanting to poke and poke at this sort of Genesis physiology with either the reversion or an aversion. I would prefer you to allow me to exercise my right for compelled speech, in which manning up is degraded from the casual physiology at gentlemen, and that the old school English buckling down is used. Man up, there's nothing Copernican about the expression. Please, can you excuse my politically correct counterpart to be a lot of phraseology blunder? We too are for gender neutrality in hashing a man down. We call them a brushed knuckles, brushing off of preoccupied sexuality indicators. No blue boys, no pink girls, no tractor boys, no Barbie girls. But there is no mapping up. Was a people's piss tank, running low on thought, or whatever the once glorified model ought used to be. Mahatma Gandhi's. Like the name for one season, see how he appears and disappears announced. Is there a Mahatma? But turn the surd into Gandh. I don't know. Why doesn't such a surd in Hindi? So blue and blue. Extensively culinary and musical traditions kept them afloat from biting a razor, from biting a razor when drowning, and not exactly opening the Opa Uma casinos. What will it end? When will it end? Where will it end when my hands bleed, my knuckles cry, my teeth grit from their sandstone age, when the world halts, when the moon does not rise, when I stare into the burning mercy of the sun until I cannot see the order of myself, when the books have No more letters and pages to fill when I'm content in my dreams. Perhaps when I'm content and do not think about me, but yawning, suffocating, all taking, all giving, all consuming. Blood of my hands, blood in my eyes, blood as hair, red as rubies, burning that burns me from the inside like it was born the burn. When will it end, this quest, this adventure of the soul sold out to protect the most precious mistakes like gems of dangerous and sacrificial memories when she has hurt me beyond repair, bones like lemon curved like loose spaghetti strings. Blood is back in business. This art as is movie and blood, my blood conscious always seemed to forgive her. When will it end? When will I left? When will she left? When will my body has left me? Marriage. I made a series of notes. One night while visiting a fair, drawn in by her hollow stare while she was standing on a passing floor. I was caught up in an unyielding grip as she held my attention with her eyes. They promised to tear up the strip by strip, and she sought the truth from my lies. She beckoned me with a crooked finger as she stepped off the floor step. I thought I would dare to let her, but felt a clawing at my throat, a threat. With a quickened step, I went after her with taste. With hairs closed, the feeling of the fear gripped the rising bile I could taste. Like a gracious host, she told me to sit and then grabbed my hand in a claw. Her eyes directed me to a cup full of grit. I forgot to breathe at what I saw. A hand severed at the wrist in a place shrouded in flames. I recognized it as I felt my heart twist in the hand of my brother James. Tears fell from my eyes. The memories came down crashing. I saw her smile and felt my anger rise. My eyes may have also been flashing. What right does she have to bring up something so painful, then have the gall to laugh at succeeding in being cruel? I have a message for you, she said, staring down her nose at me. Your brother has something to say. He knows that your pain and anger at what happened on that day. Then from underneath the table she brought out a package. She said to give you this. He said to give you this. It was taken from the wreckage. My trembling hand shot a hood and I took from her the care. Then I ran out alarmed as the tent was swallowed by the rift. Once I was at a fair where her all-seeing eyes beckoned. Then I found myself in my bed gasping air. Must have been a nightmare, I reckoned, when I saw my own on my pillow a cruel truth show. The gift from that same course sitting up the airy cliff. Shanti, come here, Shanti. Come here, Shani, go. Wow, pretty. Cliff. On the verge of tears every day, facing my pain requires courage, but am I strong enough to pull myself out of the pit? That is my mind. When I die, where will my soul go? Where will I call home, and do I have a soul? Let me start over. I'm on a cliff, but the thing is, I'm climbed it. I'm strong, I know this, but everything requires will, true grit, a backbone. But the thing is that I lack a spine. Okay, again, I'm on a cliff. Have you ever had a dream where you were flying? I'm about to jump. I'm just hoping I will fly. I just want to feel that feeling. But this cliff, it turns out, is myself. I can't let myself go. I can't experience ego death. I have apparently overcome a lot in this lifetime. When people hear the first few years of my life, they tell me things like that, I know I'm strong. But what I'm trying to say is that my entire life has felt like I'm on a cliff. And lately, I just felt on the verge of the tears. I want to feel relief, and the drugs do that for a bit. But I wish if I jumped, I would fly, just feel that, But the closest I'll get is jumping. Builder. He found pieces that were scattered from people that didn't even matter, the ones that hurt his heart. Left all those scars don't exist in this world since success is at the top of the ladder every day. He recognized that he himself had to move on and read between the lines of what God was telling him to do, where to go, where to be, how to cope, find inner peace, and in that peace there was hope that led to serenity and bothered unpatched, unfazed by the same faces that create stories that change every day. If it's not on a script, it's not gonna commit. So to it anyway. The more he got older, the more mature he realized they try so hard to distract him from his goals and dream, dictate to how he was in his corner, be unsuccessfully messing around with his worth and well-being so they can feel valuable or worthy to others. He now builds and stacks anything positive in his life, occasionally claps back, but with perseverance, perseverance, confidence that benefits the body, heart, mind, and soul without having to flex or check anybody that just wants to get him all fired up and be left looking stupid. Casual conversation that don't lead into deep altercations that where no one has their own points of view, perceptions from people who assume so to him, no substitutions, no exceptions to pity-petty people who provokingly practice the routine of purposely prying while being sneaky and lying just to start 8th grade, 12-year-old mentality drama, the edges that with light decays and gets old. So he stopped, paused, reevaluated his life, knowing he would go to jail if he left them scared and feeling like hell, and knew there was something knocking at his door that could bring the light to him, since he knew the light would be coming to bring back everything. The darkness, true darkness being the users, manipulators, cheaters, contradictors, and players. The light came and his wish was his command. In the end, he'll leave knowing when he's gone, touching the surface, he's going to do all that he can in order to build himself a foundation that's not complacent for others to knock over, but for his own destination. A fixer that fixes can only fix so much, but if they're doing most of the healing, most of the fixing, implementing most of that for himself, forever changed him. He used to be one of a fixer, and fixing kept him going for others, but now the building within himself and for nobody else kept him grounded and saying, now he's healed but will never let the kicked and twisted linger nor intervene. They are not the peasants to the fools they feed off, so they are to be called the feast of fools. He is now more precious than jewels, more valuable than gold, and grounded as ever. He broke apart from the cycle that almost drowned him, and was sucked into the current, found a way out before the tide pulled him under. Don't have to cover his tracks, because when he realized his flaws again and again, he knew in the end the more he took them into consideration, doing stuff for him without hesitation, lead him to the path that was worth taking. In the end, the high root point, building himself from within. Fixing someone is hard to do when you're really building them up, but when you build yourself up the way you would do for others, and they get mad, you just came to the conclusion they didn't need your fixing, nor in a building. They have to do that in their own while you are healed, and on that better things, know your worth, and then build from it, become a builder. Character of a happy warrior. Model after Lord Nelson. On quitting, how much grit do you think you have got? Can you quit a thing like that you like a lot? You may talk of pluck, it's an easy word, and whoever you go to it is often heard, but can you tell to a jot or gaze just how much courage by now you now possess? You may stand to trouble and keep your grin, but have you tackled self-discipline? Have you ever issued commands to you to quit the things that you like to do, and then when tempted and solely when those rigid orders, have you obeyed? Don't boast of your grit till you have tried it out, nor prayed to men of your courage stout, for it is easy enough to retain a grin in the face of the fight. There is a chance to win, but the sort of the grit that is good to own is the stuff you need when you are all alone. You must grit. Do you think you have caught? Can you turn from the joys that you like a lot? Have you ever tested yourself to know how far with yourself your will can go? If you want to know if you have grit, just pick out a joy that you like and quit. It's a bully sport, and it's an open fight. It will keep you busy both day and night. For the toughest kind of the game you'll find is to make your body obey your mind. And you never will know what is meant by grit unless there's something you have tried to quit to a pupil. Is reform needed? Is it through you? The greater the reform needed, the greater the personality you need to accomplish it. Do you not see how it is? It will serve you to have eyes, blood circulation, clean and sweet. Do you not see how it would serve to have such a body and the soul that when you enter the crowd, the atmosphere of desire and command enters with you, and everyone is impressed with your personality. Oh, the magnet, the flesh over and over. Oh, dear friend, it need we give up all else and commence today to inure yourself to pluck reality, self-esteem, definiteness, elevatedness. Rest not till you a river and publish yourself of your own personality. What am I after all? What am I after all? But a child pleased with the sound of my own name, repeating it over and over. I stand apart to hear it advertise me. To you, your name also. Do you think there was nothing but 2 or 3 pronunciations, the word of your name? Others may praise what they like. Others may praise what they like, but I from the banks of the ruining Missouri praise nothing in art or aught else, that it has inhaled the atmosphere of the swift also the western prairie sand, and fully excuse it again, brother of all, with generous hands. Brother of all with generous hands, of thee pondering on thee, and over thy tomb, I and my soul I thought to launch in memory of thee, a burial verse for thee. What may we chant, O thou, within this tomb? What tablets pictures hang for thee, O milliner? The life thou livest we know not, but that thou walk'st thy years in barter, amid the haunts of a brokers, nor heroism thine, nor war, nor glory. Yet lingering, yearning, joining, soul with thine, if not thy past, we chant the future, select, adorn the future. O soul, the graves of the heroes, the pride of lives, the gratitude of men, the statues of the manifold famous dead, our old world and new, the king's inventors, generals, poets, stretch wide thy vision soul. The excellent rulers of the races, their great discoveries, sailors, marbles and brass select from them with pictures and scenes, the histories of the lands, the races, the bodied there. It what they have built for, graced and grey monuments of their heroes. Silent my soul. Silent my soul with a drooping lids as waiting ponder, turning from all the examples, all the monuments of heroes. While through the interior vistas noiseless uprose, phantasmic as by night auroras of the north, lambent tableaus, prophetic bodiless scenes, spiritual projections, if one among the city streets, a left home appeared, after his day work done, calmly sweat earth of the gaslighting burning, the carpet swept in the fire in the cheerful stove. In one of the sacred parturition scene, a happy penless mother birthed a perfect child. In one at the bounteous morning meal sat peaceful parents with contented sons. In one by 2s and 3s, young people, hundreds concentrating walked the paths and the streets and the roads towards the tall domed school. In one a trio, beautiful grandmother, loving daughter, loving mother, a daughter sad, chatting and swaying, and one along the suitable of noble rooms. Amid the plateaus, books and the journals painting on the walls like fine statues were groups of the friendly journeymen, mechanics, young and old, reading and conversing, all the shows of the laboring life city and the country and the women, men and children, their wants provided for you in the sun and think but for once with joy marriage, the street, the factory farm, the house room, the lodging room. Labor and toil, the bath, the gymnasium, playground, library, college, the student boy and the girl led forward to be caught, the sick cared for, the shoeless shod, the orphan father and the mother, the hungry fed, the useless, the houseless housed, and tentious, perfect and divine, and working stages, happily human. Although within this storm from thee, such scenes, thou stillness lavish giver, telling the gifts of the earth, large at the earth, thy name as earth with mountains, fields and rivers. Not by you streams alone your rivers. By you your banks Connecticut, by you and all here teeming life all things. By you Potomac lapping the ground, Washington trod, by you Tabasco, you Hudson, you endless Mississippi, not by you alone, but by the High sea launch, my thought his memory. Low soul, by the storm's lemon sea, the darkness of the arrogant standards of the world, with all its flaunting aims, ambitions, and pleasures, all commonplace in the streets of separation decay. The supercilious smile is long, now piercing in the marrow of my bones, fused with each drop of my heart, and blood jets swim in ineffable meaning. Low soul, there's fair requisite portion to each his share, his measure, the moderate to the moderate, the ample to the ample. Low soul, see, dawn not, plain at the center. Only real wealth is generosity, only life of life is goodness. Desiderator. Go pleasantly amid the noise and hasten. Remember what peace there may be in silence as far as possible, without surrender. Be on good terms with all persons. With all persons, speak your truth boldly and clearly, and listen to others, even the dull and the ignorant. When they have their stories, avoid loud and aggressive persons. They are workshops to the spirit. And if you compare yourself with others, you may become vain and bitter. For always there will be a greater and lesser person than yourself. Enjoy your achievements as well as your plans. Keep interested in your own career, however humble it is a real possession and changing fortunes of time. Exercise caution in your business affairs, for the world is full of trickery. But let this not blind you to what virtue there is. Many persons strive for high ideals, and every life is full of heroism. But be yourself, especially do not feign affection, neither by cynical about love. For in the face of the arid tree at this enchantment, it is the perennial of the grass. Take kindly the counsel of the years, gracefully surrendering to the things of youth, nurture, strength of spirit, shield you in sudden misfortune, but do not distress yourself with the dark imaginings. Many fears are born of fatigue and loneliness beyond a wholesome discipline. Be gentle with yourself. You are a child of the universe, no less than the trees and the stars. You have a right to be here, and whether or not it is clear to you, no doubt the universe is unfolding as it should. Therefore, be at peace with God. Whatever you conceive Him to be, and whatever your labors and aspiration in the noisy confusion of life, keep peace with your soul, with all its sham, drudgery, and broken dreams. It is still a beautiful word. Be cheerful. Strive to be happy. Faces. Wow. Sauntering the pavement of riding the country by road, lo, such faces of friendship, precision, caution, sovereignty, ideality, the spiritual, prescient face, the always welcome, common, benevolent face, the face of the singing of music, the grand faces of the natural lawyers and judges brought at the back top, the faces of the hunters and fishers, the bulge at the brows, the shaved blanched faces of the orthodox citizen, the pure extravagant yearning and questioning artist face, the ugly face of some beautiful soul, the handsome detested and despised face, the sacred faces of infants, the illuminated faces of mother of the many children, the face of an amur, the face of the veneration, the face of the dream, the face of the immobile rock, the face withdrawn of its good and bad, the castrated face, a wild hawk, his wings clipped by the clipper, a stallion that yielded at last to the thongs and the knife of the wielder. Sauntering the pavement thus, and or crossing the ceaseless fairy faces and faces and faces, I see them and complain not, and am content with all. Do you suppose I could be content with all if I thought that they were own final? This now is too lamentable a face for a man. By God. Some subject loves asking leave to be cringing of it. Some milk-nosed maggot blessing what lets it break it to its hole. This face is a dog snout sniffing for garbage. Snake's nest in that mouth, I hear the severe threat. His face is a haze more chill than the Arctic Sea. Its sleepy and wobbling iceberg crunch as they go. This is the face of the bitter herbs that this and emic they need no label. The more of the drug shelf launched from Cawthorne and Hoxlord. This face is an epilepsy. Its wordless tongue gives out an unearthly cry. Its wings down the neck distant. Its eyes roll till they show nothing but their voice. Its teeth grit. The palms of the hands are cut by the turned nails. The man falls struggling and foaming to the ground while he speculates well. His face is bitten by vermin and worms, and this is a murderous knife with a half-wood scabbard. This face owes to the sexton his dismalice free and unceasing death bell tolls there. Then there are really men, the bosses and the truths of the great ground globe. Features of my equals, would you trick me with the crease and their cadaverous march? Well, you cannot trick me. I see your round in never its flow. I see neath the rims of your haggard and mean disguises. Play and twist as you like. Poke with the tangling foes of fishes and rats. You will be unmuzzled. You certainly will. I saw the face of the most smeared and the slobbering eater they had at the asylum, and I knew for my consolation what they knew not. I knew that the agents had emptied and broke my brother the same wall to clear the rubbish from the fallen tenement. And I shall look again in a score or two of ages, and I shall meet the real landlord, perfect and unharmed, every inch as good as myself. The Lord advances, and yet advances always the shadowing friend, always the reaching hand, bringing up the laggards. Out of his face emerge the banners and the horses, so superb I see what is coming. I see the high pioneers' caps. I see the steps of runners clearing the way. I hear the victory's drums. This face is a lifeboat. This is the face commanding and beauty. It is ours, no ours of the rest. The face is flavored fruit ready for eating. This face is a healthy, honest boy in the program of all good. This face bear testimony slumbering out of faith. They show their descent from the Master himself. All the word I have spoken, I accept not one red, white, black, or are all differs. In each house is the oldworm and comes forth after the 1,000 years. Spots and cracks at the windows. Do not disturb me, tall and sufficient, and stand behind and make the signs to me. I read the promise and patiently wait. This is full-grown Lily's face. She speaks to the timber-hipped man near the garden pickets. Come here. She blushingly cries, go high to me. Come nigh to me, limber-hipped man. Stand at my side till I lean as high as I can upon you. Fill me the albescent honey, bend down to me. Rub to me with a chaffing beard, rub to my breast and shoulders, the old face of the mother of many children. Wise, I am fully content. Lulled and late is the smoke of the first day morning. It hangs all over the roots of the trees by the fences. It hangs thin by the sapphires, the wild cherry, and the caviar under them. I saw the rich ladies in full dress of the sari. I heard that the singers were singing so long, heard the hose sprang in crimson dews from the white froth and the water blue. Behold a man, she looks out. From her quaker cap, her face is clearer and more beautiful in the sky. She sits in an armchair under the shaded porch of the farmhouse. The sun just shines on her old white hat. Her apple gown is of a cream-hued linen. Her grandsons raised the flags, and her granddaughters spun it with a distaff and the wheel. The melodious character of the earth, the finish beyond which philosophy cannot go and does not wish to go. The justified mother of man, the ballad of One-Eyed Mike. This is the tale that was told to me by the man with the crystal eye. As I smoked my pipe in the campfire light, and the glossaries and the glory swept the sky, and the not ice gleamed, and the curtain streamed, and the bottle of the hooch was dry. A man once aimed that my life be shamed, and wrought me a deathly wrong. I vowed one day I would well repay, but the heft of his hate was strong. He thronged me east and he thronged me west. He harried me back and forth till I fled in fright from his fearless spite to the bleak, bald-headed north. And here I lay for many a day. I hatched plan after plan for a golden hall of the wherewithal to crush and to kill my man. And here I strove, and there I clove through the drift of icy streams, and there I fought, and there I sought for the pale streak of my dreams. For 20 years, with your hopes and fears and smiles and tears and much, waned by and left me long bereft of hope and mirror's touch. About as bad as the chancel dragged, and lo, despite my will, in a very fight, I had clean lost sight of the man I sought to kill. It was so far away that evil day, when I prayed to the Prince of the Gloom for the sweat, its strength, and the lullen and the sullen length of life to work its doom. Nor sign nor words had I seen or heard that it happened so long ago. My youth was gone and my memory wan, and I willed it even so. It fell one night in the waning light by the Jorgen's oily flow. I smoked and sat as I marveled at the sky's overweening glow. till it paled away to an absentee grey, and the river seemed to shrink, and wobbly flecks and grilling and wriggling snake and goblin eyed wing. It was weird to see. It was weird to see, and it winked me in a queer hypnotic dream till I saw a spot like his inky blood coming floating down the stream. It bobbed and snug, it bobbed and swung its sheet and hung and dropped round it in a ring. It seemed to play in a trick some way. It sure was a merry thing. In freakish flights, the strange oily lies came fluttering round its head like butterflies of a monstrous size. Then I knew it for the dead. And the face was rubbed and slicked and scrubbed as smooth as a shaven pate. In the silver snakes in the water mix, it gleamed like a dinner plate. It gurgled near and clear and large it grew. It stood upright in the ring of light and looked me through and through. It wetted round the woozy sound, and I ever an ear I could retreat with a witless roll of a sodden soul. It went to my feet, and here I swear, by this cross I swear, I heard that flow to say, I'm the man for whom you ran, the man you sought to slay. That you may note and gaze and gloat and say, revenge is sweet in the grit and grime of the river's slime. I'm rotting at your feet. The ill we do we must even undo, though it rivals bone from bones. Where it came about that I sought you out, for I prayed I might atone. I did you wrong, and for long and long I sought where you might live, and now you have found, though I'm dead and drowned, I beg you to forgive it. So sad it seemed, and his cheek wouldn't clean, and his finger flicked the shore, and I laughed and lay in a very way, and his hands made to implore. That I gently said, poor restless dead, I would never work you woe. Though the wrong you can never undo, I forgave you long ago. Then wonder why I rubbed my eyes, and I woke up, and I woke from the horrid dream. The moon rode high in the naked sky, and something bobbed in a stream. It held my sight in a patch of light, and then in cheat from the shore it dipped and sank by the hollow bank, and I never saw it more. This was the tale he told me. This was the tale he told to me, that man so warped and grey. And he slept and dreamed, and the campfire gleamed in the eye, in the swallfish way. That crystal eye that wrecked the sky is the weird auroral ray. My God, oh, so beautiful. I love these poems.